Hello and welcome. Today we are joined in studio by Raksha Naidoo, who is the CEO of the Particle Group, Chairperson of Women in Mining South Africa, and a board member at the Department of Mineral Resources and Energy. Welcome, Raksha.
Thanks, Nancy. I'm so excited to be here and so looking forward and counting down to our WomenIN Festival.
Of course, and you'll be speaking on a session about empowering to lead. And we know that you just have so much experience in a leadership role across the various sectors that you've participated in. And I'm sure you're a very busy lady. So, what's your go to way to recharge after a busy day?
Oh, I guess that looks different kind of every day, right? Some days are a little bit more chaotic, a little more crazy. So a really long shower and a good cry helps to be very therapeutic. Probably one of my favoriteest things to do is to just sit and watch my favorite series on repeat in the afternoon and have a good laugh. And I think, I don't know, sometimes, we live in a world so full of chaos and so full of challenge and strife. So trying to find something to ease the mind is really important. I've tried the meditations and the this and the that, and I wish that was me, but it's not. But a good episode of Friends in repeat and a great conversation with my husband is probably my go-to on any given day. So yeah, that's kind of what I do.
Yeah, and I love your honesty as well because I think sometimes with women in powerful positions, you might feel the pressure to just keep a smile on all the time and just pretend that everything is perfect. But I think that there's a lot of growth that happens in the honesty, and there's a lot of shame that's gotten rid of when you're honest about
Yeah,
the fact that some days can be hard and sometimes it can be therapeutic to just own your feelings and sit in that.
100%. I think, it's actually it's such an important point that you just touched on because I think too often we all try to wear this mask as a permanent mask to try and, maintain this image that everything is okay. Everything is not okay every day, right? So I think it's so important to stay real through these processes. And I mean, I don't know, is the right answer to a question like this, I sit and I meditate and I read like, self-help books. Maybe that is, I don't know, but sometimes a good cry, listening to your favorite song blasted throughout the house on repeats, like, is therapeutic. And I think it's so important for women to find their thing because each one of us has our own little thing that brings us some sort of peace. But knowing that we need to find the peace is the most important part, I think.
Absolutely. And so, touching a little bit on the fact that you have to get to know yourself and get to know what your thing is, what do you think the most surprising thing is that you've learned about yourself in navigating all these leadership roles and specifically in a male dominated industry like mining?
You know, the male-dominated aspect of it is continues to be a journey, right? And I think it's something we keep learning in terms of how we need to navigate that successfully. But the one thing I think that I've learned from about myself is that I can do it. Full stop. Like the resilience that is needed in order to navigate this world, the resilience that's needed to navigate not just the gender issues, but also just it's a hard world out there, and it's a world that's full of so much of inauthentic people, inauthentic situations, and I think that there's a lot of resilience that's required from us as individuals in order to stay strong, to continue to fight and to continue to persevere. And I think I've learned that I have that within me more than anything. And like, for a very long time, I had a lot of self-doubt. I had a lot of like, questioning myself, like, can I, can't I? But the biggest thing that I think that I've learned in the last couple of years is I can, full stop, nothing more than that. And I think that's something that I carry with me every single day is that it's within me for sure.
Yeah. And what got you finally to that point of I can? Because obviously, to get to the point of I can, I'm sure there was a lot of I can't. So, what was that moment for you where the shift happened?
100%. I think there's a lot of I can't, every day still. And it's just about continuing to have that self-belief, like, that I can overcome it. And that, I think, is it Nelson Mandela's quote that I never lose, I either win or I learn, right? And every day is a learning. And it's a continuous learning because I don't think I ever get to a point or anybody gets to a point where you know everything. Like that's not possible. I think for me, my moment or my epiphany came from I mean, my 20s, I learned a lot of very, very hard lessons, got lots of scars to like, prove it. My 30s were a little bit more of a self-awakening in terms of, okay, this is what's going on. And then as I think I was transitioning, from 39 to 40, which was around COVID times, I did a hell of a lot of reflection and introspection. And I did a lot of work on myself. And I think I took that time of isolation as well to learn a lot about who I was and about what was going on in my world, I think relative to what was going on everywhere around me. And I think my 40s, I can't lie, have been the single greatest awakening for me about this is me. This is who I am. I've done the hard
Yeah.
work. I've put in the effort. I've learned. I continue to make my mistakes, but I keep learning from it. Um, and and this is it. I trust myself now more than I've ever done. And I think for me, that was my biggest awakening. And so now when I look at certain situations from a male-dominated perspective, yeah, it's very overpowering. It can be unbelievably overwhelming. But okay, I'm pretty great too. And I'm going to work my ass off to try and get to where I need to be. And I'm going to do that. And I think that, having a continuous, like proving yourself over time, you build that confidence and faith in yourself. And I hate the fact that us as women, we feel as if we constantly need to be proving ourselves, right? No, we've gotten here. We've done what we need to do. And we're more than capable and we have it. We have the potential. We have the abilities. We can do what needs to be done. And I think especially in leadership, it's so important for us to have that, do that work on ourselves so that we get to that space when we are trying to empower and lead our teams, we're able to lead from a place of real experience because you've done it and you've been through that journey for yourself. So for me, I'm not going to lie, 40 was a life changer in a massive, massive way. And I think I've learned that, yeah, this is my journey now. I'm here to do what I need to do. I've proven myself. I'll continue to work hard. I know my capabilities. I can. Maybe exclamation point, not full stop.
I love that. And of course, Raksha, you have the benefit of experience on your side. You've gone through the trials and the errors, you've experienced the good and the bad. So, if there were one young women coming into the industry wanting to join the mining industry, what advice would you give to them if they wanted to break into the industry, especially those who are wanting to come to the WomenIN Festival? What would you say to them?
I think it's so important. You can't take away the fact that, yes, you're a woman and you're showing up, and we're in a space where there's a lot more opportunities, I think, that are being created as we continue to empower the next generation. But when you get there, you've got to still work extremely hard. I think hard work and continuous learning is imperative throughout every one of our journeys, right? And I think to all young women joining the industry, you have to put in the effort and you've got to work hard for it. And you need to understand where it is that you're going and what it is that you're trying to achieve, because not everybody necessarily wants to be a CEO either, right? And not everybody wants to reach certain levels in a boardroom or whatever it might be. But you need to have a clear focus and a vision of where you are going and what's your journey and what do you want to achieve. And then I think you've got to put in the hard work to get there. I think also it's so important, don't set the small stuff. I think there's always going to be stuff that's going to get you down. There's always going to be stuff that's going to irritate you. I mean, I've got countless experiences and stories where I've gone out of meetings into bathrooms, sat on the toilet and had a good cry, dabbed my mascara, came back and carried on again. And then there are moments where you just want to crawl under your desk and hide because that's just the reality of what your day is like. Certain things are worth the effort of going through the emotion, being angry and experiencing it. Some stuff is absolutely not worth it. And if it doesn't align with your vision and where you want to go for yourself, don't sweat it. There's so many bigger things that you can put your effort and your energy into. It's so important to know where you're going and why you want to get there and then focus on that. That would be my advice.
Wow, that's amazing advice. And I really think that young women listening to that could actually learn a lot from you. And I think that that would be true for them coming to the WomenIN Festival as well. I think you have so much wisdom to share. And I really appreciate your honesty and how raw you are with your truth.
Thank
I
you.
think that's yeah, I think that's really how we uplift each other and empower each other, is not just to tell each other all these fluffy sayings and all the wonderful things that people
Absolutely.
say, but to actually
No.
say, hey, here, this is the truth, this is the experience, and this is how we uplift each other. Because in order to uplift each other, we need to know what we're going through. We can't just all say everything is
Absolutely.
happy and lovely all the time. Um,
Absolutely. And,
so,
I think that that's just a false sense of security for a lot of people, right? And I think,
absolutely.
festivals like the WomenIN Festival are so important because, if you are attending it, you're going to be in a room surrounded with some pretty freaking amazing people. And you need to take that opportunity and just absorb it. Be a sponge on that day, right? And if you're a youngster coming into the industry, make the effort to network, to talk, to learn, to connect, because building that tribe is so, so, so important. And I think what the team has done in creating this festival is it's just phenomenal because it's the perfect space where you've got all of this in one room. And I think people need to take that opportunity for what that is as well and maximize it. Don't just come there to tick a box. Don't come there just for social media photos. Come there to actually learn and immerse yourself in the world because, yeah, finding your people, finding those role models, it's so important. And having them all in one room, I think that's just bloody lucky as well.
Yes. Thank you so much for speaking with me today, Raksha. It's been such an honor, and I cannot wait to meet you in person at the WomenIN Festival. I know that you are going to blow us out of the water with what you have to say.
That's
Um,
kind. Can't wait to see you as well, Nancy. Thank you so much.
Great. I hope you have a wonderful day. And to everyone listening, I hope you will be joining us at the WomenIN Festival. Have a rock star day, and we'll see you in the next one.